Afternoon, good morning. How is everyone doing? Hey Rita, nice and early. How are you doing? Good morning. Hey Ayakame, how are you doing? Hope you're all well. If you can hear me all right, see me okay, put it into the chat, let me know. Started it a little bit early, just want to test some things out, so just checking to make sure everything works. Okay, seems like it's going well. Cool. Hey Moss, how you doing? Hey Faith. Hey Joki, good to see you. Hey everyone. Hey Ismail. Good day. Welcome to the stream. I'll give it a minute and we shall get started. Super. Okay. Yes, so we are streaming on YouTube, TradingView, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitch. If you are watching on any of those platforms, do help me out. Click that like and subscribe button. Leave a comment in the chats. Ask a question, leave a comment, leave a feedback. Let me know what you think of the sessions. All right. Hey Pips Apprentice. Hey Diana, how are you doing? Okay, so it is Friday. It is Friday the 5th of January 2024. And being the first Friday of the month, we are going to be having the non-farm payrolls, non-farm employment change numbers to come from the US tonight. For my time, in the afternoon for your time, or in the evening for your time, right? So we'll be talking about that and seeing where we can look at some possible trade setups with the non-farm employment change numbers to be released. Traded the Swiss yen, a nice move these 2 days. Yes, the Swiss yen has been climbing to the upside very strongly. We did a nice setup 2 days ago. I don't remember what I said about the Swiss yen yesterday, but I think it was still to the upside. It still continued. It broke through the resistance and continued higher. So Dinah was spotted that. So very good trades. Very nice. Hey D-Train, how you doing? Hey Atir, good morning. How you doing? So again, I haven't got my webcam, my other webcam yet. So guys on TradingView, you don't see my picture there, but I am streaming with you guys as well. Hey NX, I think it's NX, ANX. Caught a live stream after a while. Good to have you with us. Welcome to the session. Okay, so again, thank you all for joining this daily market analysis. Big welcome back to all the regulars. We had a break, we're back. So for all the regulars who are joining us again, welcome back. If you're new to the session, I do realize that we have a couple of new names. If you're new to the session, do drop a message, say hi, let me know where you're joining us from. And if you can, help me out massively. Help grow the channel, help grow the stream. Click that like and subscribe button on whichever platform you are joining us on. And if you have any questions at any point in time, please feel free, put it into the chat and let me know. Okay, a quick disclaimer. Any information contained on this webinar should not be construed as advice and is presented as educational material. The contents of this webinar is not intended to be a recommendation to trade a financial product. Please remember that your objectives, financial situation and needs has not been considered and you should consider its appropriateness to your circumstances. With that said, Let's get to it. And a quick good morning to Booba and hi to Sirin. How are you doing? Hey Robbie, how are you doing? Hey Pips Apprentice. Hey Solid Snake, haven't seen you for a while. Happy New Year. Ayakame is in the US yen in a trade since 145.10. We'll look at that shortly. And hey Christina, how are you doing? Good to have you with us. Hey Goju, good morning. How are you doing? Okay, so with that, what did we have yesterday? Okay, a quick review of what we had yesterday. We saw the US ADP non-farm employment change number here was, look at it, it was 103, got revised slightly down to 101K, expected 120, came out at 164, right? So a number of you yesterday were not voting, but commenting that you were expecting the non-farm employment change number to be higher. Did come out higher. I was thinking there's going to be higher, but I was hoping for it to be lower. Right, it came out higher. We did see the dollar index continue to push to the upside, even just before this session. I'll zoom in a bit. We saw the dollar index push up. All right, so this was the news, right? Zoom in a bit more. It's too small. Getting too old to look at a small chart. All right, so we did see the dollar index push, right? It bounced off that 23.6 level, fib retracement level. That area we're looking for it to break through. It did not break through. It bounced off and pushed back up to that trend line. Now, looking like it's breaking that trend line. Okay, so that was the ADP non-farm employment change number last night, where we saw 164K release. And unemployment claims for the US dropping a little bit from 220. Again, it got revised from 218 to 220. Expected 217, it dropped to 202K. Right? So relatively good news or good data from the US employment numbers there. And that's why we saw the dollar index push or continue its slight climb towards the upside. Now, looking at what we have today. Okay. Hey, Stefan, good to see you. Okay. Today, nothing much. I was expecting a lot of more of a quieter session. It was quite quiet earlier in the day. At 2 o'clock, we started seeing the dollar push up, started seeing a little bit more movements. I call it the pre non-farm payrolls move, right? But what we don't have that much for today. At 6 p.m. GMT plus 8, we do have the Euro CPI number to be released. 2.4. CPI flash estimate year on year was 2.4. A bit surprising. They're expecting it to get to 3. I don't think it'll do too much. Maybe it'll push the euro dollar up a little bit, right? If it's going to influence the ECB into a little bit more of a tendency to maintain its current rates instead of talking about rate cut. But I don't think it's going to do too much. The main focus for today will be at 9:30 p.m. GMT plus 8, where we have the US non-farm employment change number to be released, together with the unemployment rate and together with the average hourly earnings for the US. At the same time, we also have Canadian employment numbers to be released as well. So it's going to be, I think that this time around, it might be a little bit more of a volatile situation. Looking again, ADP is not a good indicator of the non-farm employment change number, but looking at the way unemployment claims are, looking at the way numbers have been coming out over the last month. Now, non-farm employment change, currently non-farm employment change was 199K, expected 168K. I'll put it out to you again now. What do you think? Is it going to be, and I'll put this a bit more straightforward, is it going to be above 200? Do you think that this will be above above 200. Do you think it'd be released above 200? Or would it be below 150? Above 200 or below 150? Put it into the chat. Let me know. Let me know what you think. Hey Lone Wolf, how are you doing? Hey KLE. Yes, Diana, I will look at Swiss yen. It is slowly becoming one of my favorites. I will do that. But yeah, let me know. What do you guys think? Above 200? Syrian thinks it's above 200. Who else? Above 200 or below 150k? Put it into the chat. Let me know. Jamil is not on yet. Jamil is probably going to turn up 10 minutes later. Stefan's above 200. Buba's above 200. Moss is above 200. Let me know what else. Who else? What do you all think? Diana thinks 230. Very specific number there. 230. If it comes out at 230, I'll get you a prize. I'll get you a prize. If you guess a specific number and it comes out as that number, you get a prize whenever I catch up with you again. Anyone else with a guess? Okay, so as you type that up, I'm trying to get you guys to type a bit more. So if you can help me out, put it in. Let me know what you think. I do think that it's likely, possibly likely, could be above 200. If not above 200, very close to 200. All right. Maybe 189, maybe 190 something, but I'm thinking it's more towards that 200 range. Maybe looking at some dollar strength come back into play. A bit surprisingly, they're thinking that unemployment rate is going to go from 3.7 to 3.8. I anticipate that it's possibly going to stay at 3.7, right? Might stay at 3.7, but it could be 3.8, and it could be a strong number here, and we're still going to see the dollar strengthen. Average hourly earnings not going to change too much, 0.4, 0.3. Might come out at 0.3. I don't think it's going to change too much. Okay, so I think that in my view, I can't type here, but this would look like maybe close to 200, maybe staying at about 3.7 on the unemployment rate. Average hourly earnings at about 0.3, staying at 0.3. So overall, I'm flip-flopping this week. I haven't entered any trades this week, just getting back. I was away for 3 weeks. I'm just getting back the sense of where prices are, how prices are moving. So I'm getting the anticipation that dollar index currently at 102.57 could see some strength and push up to that 103 and maybe a little bit higher. Right, I'll show you in the overall scheme of things. We might be looking at a bit of a push up before that push back down again. But first, a push to the upside. Okay, so that's what I'm thinking could happen on the non-farm employment change number. As usual, most of you would know that when I look at the non-farms, what I would do with you guys is we'll identify good news scenarios or stronger dollar scenarios, weaker dollar scenarios, just so that we know which ones to pay attention to when we see the charts moving accordingly. Okay, I would love to have done a live trading session together with you guys for the non-farm today, but I've got something on in the evening, so would not be able to do that. Hey, God knows. Good morning. How are you doing, Mr. Firm? How are you doing? Good to see you. Hey, VIXP. Better late than never. KLE thinks 205. Robbie thinks 270. Hey, if it's 270, we're going to see a massive shoot to the upside on the dollar index. I don't actually wish it would be 270. I want to see some upside. I think it's a good correction to the upside before we see it come down again. I think 270 will be a massive shock. Might not be the best trading condition. Might just see a big spike and then after that, come back down again. So I want a bit more of a consistent move, a more stable move. All right. In Fremont, California, good to have you with us. Okay, I want to do this as well, just to show you guys that we'll get to gold. Gold is the last thing we'll look at. You can see that why we're seeing the dollar push a little bit more to the upside right now is the bets. Well, I'm saying bets, but it doesn't sound like a bet. The bets towards a rate cut in the meeting on the 31st of January is reducing, right? It was just 2 days ago, the 3rd of Jan, it was 9.3%. Right now it's at 4.7% for a rate cut decision on the 31st of Jan. Very high likelihood, most likely going to stay at that current level. So because we're looking at the percentage change from 9.3 to 4.7, from 90.7 to 95.3, less likelihood for a rate cut. That's why we're not seeing that dollar weaken as much. We're not seeing the dollar weaken at all. We're seeing the dollar push back up because of that idea that we're more likely to hold. And then into March, we're looking at a 65% chance of easing, increasing rates, increasing chance that there's a 34% chance. This was only 29. On the 29th of December, was only 11% chance of it holding. So we're looking at maybe the Feds might be pushing that timeline a little bit further down, where we might be looking at no rate cut in March, right? It's been a while. It's going to be a while more till the 20th of March. So it might be a little bit more time. You might see that push towards holding at the current level. And in May, we're still looking at a 93.3% chance of a rate cut. But that's many months away. We'll look at that when that comes closer. Okay? Ayakame thinks above 200. Okay. So here, looking at the dollar index, 102.90 is still going to be a strong level. Just checking a couple of my levels now. Okay. And we have another, I would say, an interim level here at about 103.45. 103.50 would be reasonable as well. Okay, 103.50. We can have that. At this point now, I'm thinking, so this did not happen. Did not push down. It found at 23.6 level and bounced up. We're still going to maintain this box. We're going to keep this box here. That's a bit of a support level. Just the last hour pushed up. What's the news? Dollar heads for strongest week since July. Yen on the back foot. Yes, we know that. Okay, here we go. January the 5th of December, non-farm payrolls. I would say that it looks like we could see, right, especially anticipating that we might see better than 168, coming close to the previous, maybe 200, maybe slightly over 200, thereabouts. We're going to see that dollar strength come back into play. Some dollar strength coming back into play. Hey Jamil, how are you doing? So I'm anticipating that we could see the dollar index push up. Could it get to 103? Let's do a quick check back on the 8th of December, where we saw that point. Okay, so on the 8th of December, I'm flipping around screens a bit, so just bear with me. It was 150k, expected 184, came out at 199. I would say in a similar fashion that way, yet we only saw the dollar index climb from 103.78 up towards 104.20. 226. So if you measure that, it's roughly about a 50 pip move to the upside. Okay, roughly about a 50 pip move to the upside. So coming back to the current level, I think that it's going to, despite the shoot up, that 2 o'clock shoot up, it's going to stay around this level, especially with that previous high providing a little bit of a cap there. It's going to stay around that point. I would say that we could see this push up. This is about a 75 pip move, so still reasonable to the upside. Okay, so we could see on the dollar index, NFP data, if it's close to 200k, could climb to 103.50. Right, okay, NFP data above 170k and close to 200, we could see the dollar index climb towards that 103.50 level. Yeah, thanks for that, Mr. Firm. Do remember to click the like and subscribe button. Thanks for reminding everyone. Yeah, so non-farm payrolls data above 170 and close to 200k could climb to 103.50. Yes, I can anticipate that. Okay, so we're looking at that dollar strength. We'll think about dollar strength and dollar weakness scenarios. Then looking at the Kiwi dollar. Okay, take that away for now because that's not relevant and did not trigger our trade from yesterday. I think someone was sharing on the Discord channel where they had, was it on the H4? Let me see. They had a channel, I can't remember what time frame was it on. Something like that. All right, so the anticipation, the question in the Discord channel, and if you haven't joined the Discord channel, the link is there for you guys to join. Was anticipating a bit of a double bottom to bounce up. Right, even on the H1, no, was it on H4? Gold making moves, let me see. Yeah, a bit. It's going to be because of the dollar index tracing back a little bit now, but not yet. Okay, let's not get to that yet. I think that was on the H4 where we were identifying a bit of a double bottom here on the Kiwi dollar, thinking that it could bounce up, but I was highlighting that, hey, it could also, if we do see that dollar strength, we could also see that break that channel and hit lower. Okay, so that was something to watch out for. Now back to the H1 time frame. We see it reacting quite well to this 0.6220 level. Right, it's bounced off, and this was 19th of December, it bounced off this point again, 3rd of Jan, again 4th of Jan, now looking like it's trying to bounce again. Oh, NX was the one, yeah. H4 time frame double bottom, yes, we identified that. Channel was identified on the daily. Okay, so at this point, you know, I always like to compare between the Aussie and the Kiwi, you know, try and get a correlation there. If you look at the Aussie dollar, it doesn't have that similar pattern. So I would think that we could look at if the dollar index does not strengthen. If it does not strengthen and instead it reverses back down on release of the non-farm employment change number, you could actually be looking. So I'll flip my view there with the way it's moving now. And I would say that you could even be looking at 6245. Stop loss about 25 pips. Take profit could go up to 50 there, back to that resistance area. Okay, so looking at that double bottom bounce, looking at this 6220 level holding, looking for it to break past that high, you could be looking at 6245, 25 to 50 on dollar weakness scenario. So we're looking to buy 0.6245, stop loss 25, take profit 50. This is on DXY weakness. Okay, makes sense so far. Let me know if it's all good. Then I'll look at the Aussie again. That did not trigger, right? Continued pushing lower. What looks like it could happen from here, take all that away for now. We don't need all those. And you see that, and that's done already. You see that the Aussie is pushing, or has been trying to push to the downside, right? You can even look at that all the way down, 38.2 holding. That's holding this level here. So I'm looking at these points here holding. Okay, then what I would actually be looking for on the Aussie, okay, is that support here, this be my next support level, and this point being a bit of an interim level here. So on dollar strength, I don't even need this actually. On dollar strength scenario, right? If we see the dollar strengthen, I wouldn't rush into it yet. I'll look for it to break that support level, right? I'll look for them to break that support level at 6660. Then I'll look to sell down. So this is on dollar strength scenario. You could be looking at 6650. Stop loss very tight here, 20 pips. Take profit could go down to that almost 100 pip, 95 to the downside. If we had this point here, even that point here, okay. Your first take profit level could be at 40 pips. You're looking at 1:2 risk reward ratio to the downside. If it breaks past 0.66, then you go further downside towards that 95 level. Okay, I appreciate that, Pips Apprentice. Thank you so much. So that's what I would be. I wouldn't be looking. If it bounces, I would be buying the Kiwi up. If it smashes down, then I'll be looking to sell the Aussie dollar to the downside. Okay, so let's look at selling the Aussie at 0.6650, 20 to 95. 6650, stop loss 20, take profit 95. We do have a hesitation at 0.66. Okay, and this is on a DXY strength scenario. All right, so don't, ideally, or what I would suggest to all of you is don't enter a trade right now. It's not worth trying to get into a trade right now. It's going to be choppy. It's going to be sitting around this level. Wait for the news. If you do have a little bit of a risk capital, you could try and get in before the news. But I would say, look to get in after the news. Not immediately after, just slightly after you see the direction being developed. Then we could be looking at Aussie to buy up on dollar weakness, or to sell Aussie to sell down, or the Kiwi to buy up, depending on dollar weakness or strength scenarios. Okay. then let me just have a look at that again. Okay, I'm happy with that. Then onto the US yen. Okay, did not trade down. So we had all that analysis, but none of the trades got triggered. Now looking at these levels here, I'm not worried about any of these levels. We're looking at the dollar. So how I approach this, I look at the immediate or the recent trend, right? For this case, yes, I know that the yen has been trending to the downside from that big reversal at 151 or 152, but most recently it has been climbing. It has been pushing up, finding support at 140, pushing to the upside, now breaking above that resistance level, right? Forming a bit of a support level. The next resistance would be at that point at 146.50. All right, and you could also be looking at, I'll catch that for this point here, and also you can be looking at 147.40. A bit close together, but that's okay. We don't need that fib level here because we don't expect it to push down. What we're looking for is likely that we're going to see that test and push back up on a dollar strength scenario. If you get the Aussie break the support at 6650 and close below it before the news, we'll take the trade. Wait, Buba saying if you get the Aussie break the support at 6650 and close it right before the news, we'll take the trade. Okay, it's pushing up now, so I wouldn't be looking to buy. You could, if you really had to, you know, sell down to that point, 20 something pips. I don't think it's worth it. I think that it could push up and then turn back down depending on how that's playing out. But I think it's just going to be choppy around that point. All right, I hope I answered your question there, Buba. If it pushes up, I like that more. Because that's just, the Aussie is just a bit too strong to the downside. I wouldn't be looking to buy it up. Okay, then onto the yen, I would say that you could be looking at 145.40. Stop loss quite big. So you might want to size down on that. No, we can look at that point. 145.25. I'm looking for it to come down, test and bounce. So I'm looking at 145.25. Stop loss about 50 pips. Take profit about 118 to the upside. I do like the idea of this just because of how the yen has been climbing to the upside. So for the US yen, I'll be looking at 145.25, 50 pips stop loss, 120, almost 120 pips to the upside towards that resistance of 146.45. Okay? All right, so US yen on dollar strength scenario, we're looking to buy this up 145.25, stop loss 50, take profit 146, no, 120. 20, there we go. This again is on DXY strength. Okay, so if we see the dollar index pushing strongly to the upside, I think this would be my preferred one compared to maybe a lot of the others. I'll be looking to buy this up. Good space for it to climb to the upside. Okay, and we do have a bit of an interim level here, but doesn't look like a very strong level at about 146. That's fine. Then onto the pound dollar. Again, it pushed up. I show you that it was outside the Bollinger. Next moment, right away, it comes right back in. Okay, so when it's outside the Bollinger, you don't want to get into that trade because you know that when it's outside the Bollinger Band, it's more likely to come back in before maybe going back up or retracing back down again, so that you wouldn't have entered that trade. A lot of setups we had from yesterday did not end up triggering. At this point, 50, get that away, it's right there, and that's also the 50% level. Okay, so we have that 50% level there. I'll be happy to take that one away for now. Hey Prince Philip OG, how are you doing? Dollar weakness scenario. Dollar weakness scenario, we could be looking to buy this up. It's at 1.2680 right now. I don't want to get in any earlier. I'll be looking at 1.2730. My stop loss would be 20 pips. My take profit could go up to about 90 pips to the upside, 85 pips to the upside. Okay, so on the pound dollar, this is on the dollar weakness scenario. We could see the pound dollar push to the upside, breaking above 1.2720. I'll be looking to get in at 1.2730, stop loss 20, take profit 85 to the upside. Yeah, okay. And Pips Apprentice just asked, Jamil, any trades on the pound dollar? What's your view? 127.30. Stop loss 20, take profit 85. There we go. Okay. Now, no trade, pound dollar, just do wait. Okay. Yep, that makes sense. We'll do that. Okay, let me see a couple of things. All right, fantastic. I've got diamonds on TikTok, so thanks for that, whoever left the diamonds. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate that. Now, I'm looking at this. I'm just thinking whether the pound dollar would be a test. Right, I'm just thinking whether the pound dollar could do that instead. Right, forming a bit of a double top formation. But I think that I'll be happy to keep that as a bounce on a dollar weakness scenario. Okay. And then you look at the euro dollar as maybe that dollar strength scenario. See, euro dollar overall trend pushed up, but now looking like still pushing down. You can see that a lot of the other pairs are gaining against the dollar as this is pushing down slightly. Little red candle there. We're seeing the Kiwi dollar push up, Aussie dollar push up, yen retracing a little bit, pound dollar pushing up a little bit, but yet on the euro dollar, it's not really showing that green candle. It's not really showing that green candle, and it's that level is holding quite strong at 1.0963. So with that, I would think that, you know, looks like the pressures are to the downside. We're going to see a little bit of a push at 6 p.m. with the CPI numbers to be released. But what I would be looking for here on the euro dollar, look for it to break 1.0890. Let me check that level again. Yes, I'm happy with that level. So I'll look to sell this down below 1.0880. 25 pips stop loss. Take profit could be 55 to start because of that point there, and ultimately could get down to 100 pips. And because that's going to be breaking quite a strong support level, we might see that push quite significantly to the downside. What looks like it might happen is it might do that, bounce, and then after that do that. In that fashion, maybe a bit lower there. Might do that. Right, so you can get into that. You might see a little bit of volatility on the euro dollar, but I think overall to the downside for the euro dollar. Hey, Crypto Educate, how are you doing? Probably before the news, all US pairs will go up and down, and dep after. What's dep? And down after. I think so. That looks like it. Jamil says, yesterday I took 3 trades, 1 on pound dollar 44, very good, and 2 on Swiss franc, and it's still running. We'll have a look at that shortly. Okay, so I like this. The more I look at this euro dollar, the more I like it. I think I like the US yen trade quite well. I like the euro dollar trade quite a bit as well. 1.0880, 25 to 100. You see that pushing back up now. We're looking at this to sell down 1.0880, stop loss 25, take profit 100. This is on DXY strength. It's going to be an interesting non-farm. The first one of the year. It's going to be interesting. It might set the tone for the year as well. So it's going to be quite interesting. Prince Philip OG says I'm short on the pound dollar. Maybe. I find that as a very strong support. It's right in the middle now. I would actually be looking for this during the news or slightly after the news to push up if we see that dollar weakness scenario. Obviously, if we see dollar strength and it breaks that support, then yeah, I wouldn't get into anything right now. I would only get in if it breaks below 1.26, right? So about 1.26 there. Or my stop at 30 pips. I would have my take down to like 95 pips to the downside. So you can look for the downside move. We're just trying to have our different options and scenarios. Okay, but once the move gets developed, then you can actually start looking at all the other pairs for trade setups as well. I like the euro. I like the euro a lot. Moss, if US yen triggers in the next couple of hours, would you enter, even if it's hours? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. So if US yen is going to, it's not, say for example, it doesn't retrace and it just sits there and pushes up a little bit, I wouldn't get into it because there is a news, quite a major news to be released. It could push down, it could sit there, it could push up as well, right? So I wouldn't get in, especially for this month, because I haven't started trading yet. I don't have that risk profit or the profit to buffer the move, right? So if this was later on, then yeah, I might take on that risk. But right now, I'm a bit more risk adverse until I build that profit, and then I'll be a little bit more risk accepting. Is that a word? Yeah. If you look at pound dollar, it seems like it's creating a head and shoulder. Pound dollar, I see the head. I think you're talking about a shoulder, head, and shoulder. Not the best. Not the best. I think, it's just in there. Basically, for the pound dollar, you're looking for it to either break that level to trade up or break that level to trade down. I wouldn't do anything else in the middle. It's not worth trying to catch, that 40 pip move. If it breaks that neckline there, just too small a move before the news, not worth the risk. I'll wait for that two levels to break. Oh, on a daily time frame. Well, let me have a look at that. Oh, wait. No, I don't see it. On a daily time frame, I actually see that happening, supporting a continuation, a push to the upside. I don't see a head and shoulder. Oh, unless you're talking about shoulder, head, and maybe a shoulder coming up for that upward push, maybe, but it will be a couple of days for that to develop. Not a today thing. Okay. Hope I answered your question there. US yen, little divergence. Okay. Good, Mr. Pips. Very well. Who's Mr. Pips? Okay, cool. Where am I now? I forgot. I digressed. Just remember, with Euro US, don't fight the trend. Philip said, hey, with every pair, don't fight the trend. With everything, don't fight the trend. Look at that. Dollar pushing back up a bit again. For everything, don't fight the trend. Trend is your friend until it ends. Pound dollar buy, US Swiss franc going sell. No, I think we'll have a look at US Swiss franc shortly. Still not yet, as I say, developing. Yeah, it's developing on the head and shoulder for the pound dollar. Yeah, Jamil's the king of pound trades. Start from extreme left on H1. Okay, let's move on. We look at US Swiss franc. That head and shoulder that we identified from yesterday did not play out, so let's take that away. Neckline, bounce at the neckline. You can also possibly see a bit of a reason why it bounced. Right, about that 38.2 level, bouncing up. Now pushing to the upside. All right, pushing to the upside. So Jamil said looking to sell on the US Swiss franc. I think that, if the dollar does continue pushing to the upside, then we're not likely to see the Swiss franc push down. Right? We're looking at the reaction along that resistance level, but what it looks like is dollar strength is going to push the Swiss back up again. Immediate level would be about there. And then looking at the next resistance, next major level. Why do I have that big line there? Okay, I don't need that big line, it's too big. Then my next level would be about there as a resistance. So what I would be looking for here on a dollar strength, it has to break above that resistance first. But what I would be looking at a dollar strength here would be 8550, stop loss 25, take profit maybe close to 100 pips to the upside. It looks, okay guys, remember again, we're looking at a lot of 100 pip moves here. Does not mean that it has to always go to your take profit level. You can always look to close out a bit earlier as well, but we're looking at identifying the next resistance levels or support levels. So I would be looking for that. Dollar strength to push the US Swiss franc up. Okay. Yeah. 8550, 25 to 100. Okay. Head and shoulder did not play to the upside. Okay, so that comes down to look at the US Swiss franc possibly pushing up because of dollar strength. US yen possibly pushing up because of dollar strength scenario. To the Swiss yen, it is retracing back now, maybe because of that Swiss strength, right? So Swiss yen, I want to identify that's a strong level there. Check the H4. This is a very strong level. We haven't seen a higher level since, right? I would be very careful here on the Swiss yen. Very careful here on the Swiss yen. On a daily time frame, grab the liquidity. Where is it? In November, in my opinion, a retrace. Yeah, I think that might be it for the upside. What I'm thinking here is that see, the thing I was at first thinking of is that the Swiss pushing up is that weakness on the US Swiss franc, right? So we're going to see that pull the Swiss yen down a little bit. And that's coming down. That's why we're seeing that trade lower. What I anticipate here is that on the Swiss yen, now we take that away. Okay, take that away. Check a couple of levels. Could come back down. That's a support level now, which I like. I'm just worried that that's a very high level. I think that it's going to come back down. It could come back to this resistance turned support level. It could do that and then bounce back up again. I don't think it'll come all the way down. Yeah, send your analysis on Discord, please, Diana. Yeah, I think it will. I know what you're talking about there, and that kind of correlates with that fair value gap. So that test of this level, I think it could do that. Retrace down to 169.40 and then bounce back up. I could be looking for that move back up. A 100 pip move back, bounce back up. Right? I just because of the way we see that area, what happened there, I think that we're going to, and given that it's broken past that resistance, we're going to see that come back in a little bit more before pushing back up again. All right. Hope I answered your question there on the Swiss yen. As I said, it will go down to fair value. If it holds that, it will climb. Yeah. Aligned. We're perfectly aligned. Come back down to this point. Look for it to bounce back up. I wouldn't trade it down just because I don't know how far down it could get. It could break and continue down, but looking for it to bounce off, then you can look to buy it up. Hey Angel Case, how are you doing? Then you'll be looking at about that kind of move. All right, good stuff. Then on to the USCAD. Did not happen. Remember, this when I come across this situation, this is where I don't even look at the USCAD, right? During the non-farm tonight, very unlikely I would be looking at the USCAD, because you are at the 9:30 time going to have US employment numbers, you're going to have Canadian employment numbers at the same time. The difficulty is that you're going to be looking at a whole bunch, 5 different data being released. It's most likely going to come out between red and green. It's going to be like Christmas lights again, and then you try and decipher what's going to happen on the USCAD. Right? We have so many other pairs that you could be trading rather than the USCAD, than the loonie. Okay, but let's look at this. It is holding at 1.3369 or 1.3370. Dollar strength scenario is going to see that push up. It is looking like a bit of a double top scenario there. Canadian employment change 24.9, expected 12. Unemployment rate 5.8, expected 5.9. It has been a bit choppy. We might see that come out at 5.9, which is going to cause some weakness on the loonie. And that might come out a bit mixed. So I think that although there is a double top, it could actually push up towards that resistance. I like this level a little bit more. Nice round number at 1.34. All right. And beyond that, we have another level about there at 1.3482. So despite the double top, possible double top there, thinking that if we see dollar strength and CAD weakness, we might see this push up, where you could be looking at about a 1.3410, 20 pip stop, 70 pip take to the upside. Yep, I'll do that one. Yeah, I agree, Jamil. Buy it up, right? So I'm looking to buy 1.3410, stop loss 20, take profit 70. Stop loss 20, take profit 70 to the upside. And this is on dollar strength, not strength, and CAD weakness. There we have it. Okay, dollar still looking like it's trying to push to the upside. That's going to work out well for what we're looking at. It's still sitting there. Then now looking at gold, right? Someone was saying gold, hey, is moving. It shot up. Well, that did not happen, so we'll take that away first. Right, within that, I'll show it to you on the 15-minute, or even on 5. Since the time we've been talking, right, at 3 p.m. we started right there. It went from 2042 or 2042.50 right up to 2047 and then right back down again. Outside of the two tails outside the Bollinger came right back down. Okay, so don't feel like you have to rush into, especially on gold, don't feel like you have to rush into any trades. Now at this point, expecting that dollar strength scenario, it's not a dangerous pair. It's not I don't think it's a dangerous pair. I would say that it's a pair that you really have to watch. It's not something that you want to, randomly jump into. You want to really watch and pay attention to it, right? So it looks like that support level is there. Back down. See, that's closed. Dollar index has a bit of a pin, closed, and now pushing down a little bit, little red candle, leading to a little green candle on gold. So what we could be looking for is a rejection, a bit like that, right? A rejection of 2048. Contra trade, as in counter trend trade, Diana, or? Yeah, I do take counter trend trade quite not often, but I do, especially if I've got a good profit number on it, and then I'll take some risk. So 2048. Okay, so I'll be looking for gold, reject, test and reject 2048 to trade down to 2032. Let's take that as the first level. It could very well get to 2018 to 2032. There we have it. Okay, test and reject and trade down. Kernel pine cone, yeah, it could go down. I not yet. Needs to wait for the data from the non-farm employment change number. Okay, so that's sitting there right now. That's still holding. I think it's going to come down a little bit and then push back up, same like what it's been doing in the last couple of hours. Euro and gold, notice they have the same move. Well, mostly because they are quite well inversely correlated to the dollar. Gold is inversely correlated to the dollar. Euro is moving in that direction as well. Okay, so we're looking for that. I like the euro. I'll rank the euro quite high on my list. Where's my arrow pointed? Okay. All right, so if you haven't already, the link is there for the Discord channel. Anything comes up, interesting setup comes around, I will share that in the Discord channel. So do make sure you join that if you haven't already. And please, if you are trading the non-farm, if you're going to be trading tonight, then make sure two things. Possibly try to size down. I know when I say size down, nobody's going to do that. But try and size down, not worth taking extra risk. Let the volatility, let the liquidity give you that move rather than try and size it up, right? Size it down. Remember, take your profits. If you can't risk it, don't enter before the news. Yes, you could make more, but you could also lose a lot more as well. So don't get in before the news. If you don't know, if the numbers come out and you're not sure whether it's supposed to go up or whether it's going down, or you think that it should go up and it goes down, don't get into a trade. You do not have to trade every news release. There are times where I can sit there and watch a trade or watch a chart move and not enter a trade as well. Okay, so with all that said, please remember, trade well, trade safe, have a wonderful weekend ahead, and I'll see you all Monday next week. Take care now.